It's time for Ion Franchising, and I'm your host, Lance Graulich. I have Shawna Hicks Cranston, a long-time, 15 years or so, PostNet franchisee, and her husband owned a staffing franchise for over 20 years before that. So she definitely loves franchises.
Up next,
It's really making sure that we want to help our customers thrive. No matter what they want to do, we want to sit down with them. We want them to come back.
Why is it that you are so successful in this and others are not? Is it the work? Is it the focus on employees and customers? Give us those secrets. You know, you have decades in franchising. You're not doing this
Okay, I'm
because
not that old, okay?
well, you're not that old, exactly.
I'm just,
That's a story for another podcast. How you were so young, yet you're decades in franchising. But
it's called 40 plus a lot of shipping and handling.
there we go. And Shawna, I'm excited to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Lance. Happy to be here.
This is going to be fabulous. So I was tipped off that when I talk to Shawna, I have to address the Mayberry Approach. And for those of you listening that are not at least 40-ish, maybe 45 plus, you might not know what Mayberry is, but Andy Griffith had a fabulous show in this little quaint town of Mayberry. Everybody knew each other's names. And it sounds like, Shawna, you've made your PostNet into something like that as well. Do tell.
Absolutely. Well, I am blessed to have a business in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. And we are a booming town, but I have to say, when we considered moving our business to Lakewood Ranch, our neighbors were cows. So, headquarters would call and be like,
Mm.
exactly. You have lots of customers. I said, drill down on that map over seats that you're doing. I said, try it again. Keep going down. And she goes, oh my God, those are houses. I go, no, keep going. Those are cows. I said, our neighbors are cows. I said, but it's a planned community. So it gives us the opportunity of years ago when the great family that started Lakewood Ranch knew that this was a planned master community. We are actually the largest multi-generational community in the nation right now. So we are growing leaps and bounds, but in the beginning, we are absolutely Mayberry. We have a main street. We have people that come into our center. Anybody, that may not know who Andy Griffith is, if they've ever been to Moe's, you walk into Moe's and you hear, welcome to Moe's. Very similar to that. We know almost all of our customers that come in on a daily basis, the ones that are regular. We build relationships with them, but absolutely, we know our customers. They have grown up with us.
That's just awesome. I love your approach and your focus, but it sounds like a lot of that's natural. And you won an award from PostNet, the Tenacious Mindset Award. So why? Why you for that?
Well, I was very blessed and surprised and honored to win the award at our conference this year in Chicago. I love PostNet. I love everything about it. Being able to share that not only with our community, with people like you, with anybody that wants to hear about PostNet, I am just ready to share it. I love working with our potential owners and our new owners to keep them on, the informed path about what PostNet can do for you. We all start a business because we're really passionate about something, and then you realize there's a lot of other things that go on to owning a business. So I was very honored to get that award this year.
So it's funny when I saw that you won the Tenacious Mindset Award. When it comes to mindset, as a franchise broker consultant, I work with a lot of people that probably do not realize at all that I'm working on their mindset. I had a gentleman email me last night who's in the final stages of deciding between two brands. And he said in the email, he goes, Lance, it's like you're my therapist. And the reality is when you get into, you're a professional athlete, you're a business owner, there's a certain mindset to be able to do this on a daily basis. So why is it that you are so successful in this and others are not? Is it the work? Is it the focus on employees and customers? Give us those secrets.
I think it's a combination of everything. I mean, when you start a business, like I said, you're really passionate about something, but then all the other stuff gets in the way. What we're able to do at PostNet is really sit down. We're not looking for somebody to come in to do a transaction. That's great. I'll take your money all day long. I'm looking to go ahead and, even if it's a customer or somebody that's looking to open a PostNet, is to sit down and find out, what do they want to be when they grow up? What do they really want? What's their end goal with a printing project, with a shipping project, anything? It's like, what is your end goal and how can I help you get there? There's a ton of competition in the world, but the reality is competition is really not competition. If we didn't have competition, we wouldn't be pushed to do better. So for us, it's, at PostNet, and for me and my center and my team, it's really making sure that we want to help our customers thrive. No matter what they want to do, we want to sit down with them. We want them to come back. I'm just not looking to go ahead and take their $17.95 for something they did and never see them again. I want them to be a customer for life for me, and we have a lot of them.
In today's world, when everybody's talking about artificial intelligence, clearly in your business, you're not worried about that.
Absolutely. Actually, it's a blessing. It's going to go ahead, and as we're learning it, it's saving us time. It's going to help us make more money, because some things that we were spending people time on, we can go ahead and put that to the customer side of it. You can't replace good customer service. AI is not going to do that. We've all been on the phone and, been yelling our account number into it and been like, no, it's a 7. We've all done it. You can't replace an actual person. So being able to have AI, even in the design world, be able to help us do things faster, we're immediate gratification. I mean, I sit there, I have a 16-year-old, and I always say, she likes immediate gratification. I am guilty as the day is long.
Yeah.
I love immediate gratification, and a lot of us do. We're busy, and when we're thinking about something, we want it done right then. So AI, in any business, if done correctly, can go ahead and take some of the mundane things and make it easier. So the people, you could have these conversations. We couldn't have this conversation in AI. They don't know what we feel. They don't know what we're doing. But in the background, it can be sending emails for me, because that's great. So I think AI, I am not worried about it. I'm excited to embrace it and learn more about how it can make my life and my customers' lives easier.
Franchises tend to have the best technology, and I know plenty that are taking advantage of AI. To your point, you tipped me off that one of the exciting new things at PostNet is this new. Is it a cutter that potentially can save one job per se?
Absolutely. Technology is great. When you start a franchise, that there is a certain amount of product that you're going to buy, that you're going to need. But that is the great thing about being 15 years in, is that, when something, not necessarily new, because it's been around, but being able to afford to go ahead and buy something like this, everybody that has ones are like, this employee doesn't call in sick. There's no vacation time, doesn't need workman's comp insurance. So, being able to purchase technology and machines that will go ahead and save time and talent, can't beat it. Looking forward to it arriving and learning how to go ahead and to work it to our advantage. But being able to, it's ultimately going to be able to service my team and my customers better.
I'm having a flashback. My mother was a school principal. And there were a lot of times she had 1,500 kids in the school. Yes. I'll never forget. She would bring me in, and I'd use that old manual cutter that looked like a guillotine. That was probably the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that is the other great thing.
Yeah. So when it comes to, we're going to talk about money in a second, because
Okay.
I have a little sort of show me the money segment.
Got it. Love
Because
money.
everybody listening wants to know, this sounds fabulous. Shawna's wonderful. All right, can I make any money in this thing? So we're going to talk about that. When it comes to struggles, everybody, you're making everything sound easy, just a little bit of work. But in the early days, what was that struggle? And you're on your board, or your franchise advisory council for PostNet.
Absolutely.
What are you seeing and hearing from other franchisees? What is that biggest struggle in the beginning?
Twofold. I would say for me, our biggest struggle was not getting out and being part of the community fast enough. 15 years ago, there's a training program and whatnot that's fabulous. I didn't take the initiative to do more. And being able to get out and start doing a ton of networking when I was, looking at all those boxes and waiting for the carpet to be installed. I could have been out really promoting myself in the business. Yeah, I was telling my friends. Yeah, I was talking about it. But I really wasn't going 100% because that would have been the perfect time to do it. Now, all of our new centers are definitely asked, pleaded by, please go out and do it. It's going to make a huge difference. When I meet with potentials, that's one of the first things I say. The second thing I say is be confident in what you are selling. Because the reality of, you buy this and you're very excited about it. And then you're like, oh, let me go ahead and give it to you for free because I really want you to come in and be one of my customers. I have a customer that my first week, I gave him a heck of a deal on a set of business cards. 15 years later, every time he wants those business cards, he reminds me about that great deal I gave him 15 years ago. And he wants that same deal. So just being really positive that, you are worth what your company charges, and stand behind the product that you have.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. So let's talk about money. I happen to know, I pulled up the item 19. You have decades in franchising. You're not doing this
Okay, I'm
because
not that
you're,
old, okay?
well, you're not that old. Exactly.
I'm just,
That's a story for another podcast. How you were so young, yet you're decades in franchising. But
it's called 40 plus a lot of shipping and handling.
there we go. Top 50% of franchisees of PostNet average almost 545,000 in revenue. Top 10% are doing 933,000 in revenue, which sounds absolutely incredible. And I happen to know over 20% net is really the goal. Those are some great numbers. And to open a new location these days, according to the item 7, is about 250,000. It's going to depend on real estate and improvement
Absolutely.
costs. But what are you seeing trend-wise in your industry? Are these locations shrinking? Are they getting bigger? Talk a little bit about the services, because we discussed, some locations might do a lot more printing, for example. But what's changing and evolving over the years in the PostNet brand?
Well, PostNet, when it started, which I still giggle because I love the two gentlemen that started PostNet. They started it in Vegas because of a need. There was a need for mailboxes. You couldn't get your mail. Vegas was booming, and there just wasn't enough space. Those little square mailboxes, there just wasn't enough of them for everybody to get their mail. So that's how it started, was because of the mailbox need. And they did gift wrapping. I still would love to watch them gift wrap something, but that's a story for another day. But PostNet has changed with the times. As people's needs changed, they added the services on. So for a long time, it was just shipping. So we still have centers that's what they want to do. That's what they're comfortable with. When we came on 15 years ago, they had made the shift to really adding a lot of printing services, adding a lot of business services. Bottom line is PostNet can help you be whatever you need to be. We can help your business thrive, both personally and professionally. The reality is we are your marketing department without having to, take me on vacation, because, you don't get to pay for all that. But if you want to take me on vacation, I'm ready to go. But the reality is that PostNet has changed as our customers tell us they need changes. We ask customers all the time. Some of the things when you're talking about our advisory council and our annual conference, they're always asking, what do the customers want? We ask our customers on a regular basis what they want. And those are the things that we go in and start vetting to see what can we add. Have they all been successful? No, they have not been. But then when we find out, it really doesn't work with our model, because it's hard to go ahead and try to find products that at all 300, or, when we're talking worldwide that PostNet is, that every single center will want to do every single product. So it's just not going to work that way. Every community is different. We're made up of different types of people. We have different needs. So that is one of the best things about PostNet is it allows you to have all these, access to all these services, and you can go ahead and pick and choose as your customers need them. Example, wide format. For a long time, I didn't do wide format printing. I didn't really have a need. I didn't have people coming in and asking for it. Then all of a sudden, like I said, my cows started moving out, and businesses started moving in, and contractors were coming in and being like, "Can you scan this for me? Can you print this for me?" And I was telling them, "Yeah, I can do it, but it's going to take a little bit longer." When I got my wide format printer, that thing hasn't stopped since the day I got it. I'm on my third one already. So the needs that our customers and our communities have really will tell us as owners what products we need to go ahead and start offering.
Yeah, no, that's fabulous. Give me a crazy customer story. There has to be one that sticks in your head.
Oh, we love our customers. Never a day is going, never going to be the same day twice. I think it's not necessarily a customer, but we have a couple businesses that were doing antique. They were selling a bunch of things like an auction house. And there were some very odd items that came in, taxidermy items that came in, an elephant's foot. Now that is a very bizarre thing to all of a sudden be called and asked, "Hey, I have this thing. I need you to ship it. It's this size. Okay, bring it in." They bring it in. It's like a stool made out of an elephant, and I'm like, this was not from Home Goods. So things like that, that they're shipping. For us, it's fun box day. Periodically, people will bring in drop-offs that they're returning. It could be from a massage chair that's bigger than the chair I'm sitting in to all of a sudden that's very odd shaped, and they just kind of drop it off and leave it, and you're kind of like, what's in that box? What do you think that is? And then we have to give it to our shipping vendors, and they're like, okay, do you think that's going to get there? It might, with the piece of wood sticking out of it. You got a 50-50 chance. So it's more things like that are fun for us instead of, we don't really have weird customers. We just have challenging opportunities for advancement. Can we answer that question for them that they don't know how to answer?
So what did PostNet teach you that even an MBA couldn't teach you? It sounds like you've learned a lot over the years.
I have learned a lot, and I think the biggest thing is that every day is different. No degree is going to teach you that customers really matter. That at the end of the day, if we don't have those customers walking in the door, calling on the phone, bringing the crazy things in to ship, I don't have a business. My employees don't have, they're not paying their rent. So I think that is the most important thing that, as simple as it is, everybody says, "Oh, I want to own my own business. It's going to be great. I want to make $1 million. I want to do this. I want to do that when I grow up." But the bottom line is everything we do is about service. Every single business is about service, helping somebody, helping them grow, and then you get to determine how successful you want to be in that.
So franchise support, not just from corporate, but from fellow franchisees. Talk a little bit about that. To me, that might be a secret that a lot of potential franchisees that have never owned a business and they're looking at franchises, they might not even know that exists.
Well, at PostNet, that was one we really was a selling point for us. Our last franchise, like you said, my husband and I were in the staffing industry. He did it for 22 years and absolutely loved it. We decided to make a change, and when we did, that was one of the things he was looking for because he was so comfortable with the franchise model. He was blown out of the water, the difference that headquarters puts on making us successful. Bottom line is they're not getting paid if we're not making money for them. So that was one of the things that we really looked at was how they were going to engage with us. Bottom line is I own those four walls. Those are my four walls. But as a successful franchisee, you really have to make sure that you're inviting other people into those four walls. So we have our regional directors, we have our advisory council, we have committees, I can list them off all day long. It really gives anybody that's looking to own a franchisee the opportunity of never being alone. There's always somebody out there, either by text, by going online to some of our forums, there's really a very lengthy list of ways that our franchisees can be being connected with headquarters and also just other owners. We offer. I've had a lot of franchisees come in, and before, during, and after they've been looking at buying a franchise, to be able to kind of see what the day in the life really is. You know, I had one gentleman over on the other side of Florida. He came in and spent a week on his own dime just as kind of, I want to see what it looks like. I want to, I'm going to go to Colorado. I'm going to see it, but I want to see it working before I get there. And then after he purchased one, he came back over and spent another week with me and kind of, we delve into the numbers. And he really got to spend some time, so he knew that he could go ahead and do it.
I was going to ask you, as you're describing the gentleman that's spending a week with you that moved in over there, what is that secret now that you've been in two franchises very successfully? What is the secret for those listening and playing along at home? How do you know that you have the right franchise for you?
For us, my husband loved a list. So honestly, he took a piece of paper, wrote the pros and cons of what he was looking for. He also did a list of skills. He wrote down my skills, his skills, our kids' skills. In the beginning, one of our kids worked with us. So we wrote down the skills and also the skills that are required to run this franchise. Being able to make it grow. Neither one of us had, I had done some advertising before, I was in the corporate world before, but never to this extent of, okay, we're opening a door and I'm going to go ahead and make some business cards for somebody. Always had somebody that did it for me. So now I am
Right.
that somebody. And was really looking for what skills needed to be successful. And that's really how we found it. And then the great thing about PostNet is, you're looking at all the different information. You're saying that you read through, what PostNet offers. It's a ton. It's an absolute ton. Um, but the bottom line is they will bring you out to Colorado and they're interviewing you as much as you're interviewing them. They are looking for successful people to join the franchise family. The same thing is they want you to be successful. This is not going to be a business where I wrote you a check and now I own a PostNet and now I'm automatically going to be making the numbers you were talking about without doing something. So having franchises that really want to, our franchisees that really want to be actively involved is really the secret sauce of PostNet.
So I would imagine you're working on another one. Is that the story?
It's on my Christmas list and I keep hoping that Santa's going to bring it to me really quickly.
Well,
Yeah, I would really
you
love
have
to.
Elizabeth working with you, your daughter, so
She
why
is.
not?
She is. And actually, we just learned last week that she's looking to graduate a year earlier. So you never know. That may move up a little faster than we had thought.
Fabulous. Elizabeth, you've been warned. You have a new location opening soon.
She would love it. And our community's asked. That's one of the things that our customers come in. They drive for quite a while to come here. And they're like, when are you going to open one up by me? And I'm like, it's on my Christmas list.
That's
Talk to
always a
Santa.
great that's always a great sign. So, final question, share your wisdom. What is a great piece of advice you want to share with the audience on getting into your first business?
I would say be really passionate about something. With PostNet, it's not necessarily your skills that to run a PostNet, meaning you don't have to be able to know what shipping is, you don't have to know what printing is to do it. You really have to have a desire to want to work with people, get out in your community and be part of it. And really grow those relationships. It seems very cliche. I know everybody says you got to build a relationship. That really is the success, is building those relationships, wanting to get to know everybody that walks in the door, be eager to see what crazy thing is going to walk in the door. We see customers and we're like, okay, I know what's in that box. You got to really want to go ahead and want people to succeed. We're all in business to make money. But if I have a great time, I look forward to getting up and going to work every single day. And honestly, if I can get a 16-year-old to come to work and be happy about it, I call that a successful franchisee.
That sounds good to me, Shawna. Good way to end it. Thank you so much for being here. You're an awesome guest. Look forward to meeting you in person someday soon.
I look forward to it. Come on down to Lakewood Ranch. We'd love to have you.
If you're ready to talk about franchise opportunities, hit the link below to schedule a call. My services are free, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.